Hello and welcome to the Daily Dominion for December. It's December. December 1st, 2024. And should be full random on Sunday. And we do not really have much in the way of trashing, just Necromancer. Necromancer trashing with Oh. Okay, so we have Flagship Bridge. Oh, there's also delay. Ooh. Ooh. Huh. It's very interesting. um Oh, yeah, this is tricky. This is definitely tricky. So we're probably going to get a stockpile to start with. We want to do a bridge megaturn using some combination of flagship and delay. The lack of thinning is gonna make it awkward. But I don't know if we necessarily want to open Necromancer. I mean, I guess let's go ahead and get the stockpile. They open Exploration. Yeah, that's not crazy. Having a villager is definitely useful. But I don't know. I don't think that's the way that I want to go. And the question is, do we just get a flagship, get that into play? Like, we could. It'd be kind of slow, but we could just basically buy flagships and stack them up and buy nothing but flagships and maybe stockpiles, and then eventually take a bridge. Like, we could do it that way. We can get multiple flagships per shuffle, potentially, and we can use delay if they collide. So in theory, we need to shuffle 4 to 5 times, and then we get a bridge. Can we do better than that? And if so, how? Like, if we have bridges, we can delay more cards. But that only helps if we have cards to delay. I think... we also have to be careful about how many stockpiles we actually take, because we don't want to, like, have to go through too many of those either. I think I'm just going to go for the straightforward line here. Take a flagship. Council room. We actually need to play this stockpile. Do we want to? Probably not. Right? I mean, it gets it out of the way. If we can keep hitting 4, then there's no real reason to have the stockpile in our deck. We are by no means guaranteed to keep hitting 4. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to it for now. I mean, if we just get lucky every turn, like, that does work out pretty nicely. Just get... Oh, the council room coming in clutch for us here. We actually have 6, never mind. So we could take double flagship or flagship bridge here. We have 4 flagships in play. We just bought one. That's 5. Do we have another flagship down there? I should have kept track. I mean, I think it's flagship bridge. I think we're already ready for the, like, even if we have 6, there's 6 flagships. Play 7 bridges. That's enough to empty the provinces. So yeah, we can do flagship bridge. All right, I think that means we probably had a flagship down there. I'm not totally sure. We might as well buy another flagship, or I guess we could buy exploration. That would potentially save us a turn in terms of... Yeah. Yeah, let's buy exploration. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right, we know we have our bridge down there. We know we're going to get to play it 7 times. It really doesn't matter what we do here. What we could do is, like, buy a duchy just in case of I don't know what. I think that's the only thing that we could do that would possibly be relevant. I don't think if the AI can possibly threaten to do anything scary. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I just want to double check my math here, like in case like 1 confer makes a difference. So 7 bridges played. It's going to give us 7 coins, 8 buys. The coffer gets us to 8 coins. The coffer that we already have gets us to 8 coins. So we can buy 8 provinces. Right? Provinces will cost 1 with 7 bridges in play. Yeah. So I guess we buy a duchy. Oh, we do have another flagship. So we actually overbought by 1. Or, well, not necessarily. But... we do have a villager, so we might as well use it. Yeah. Well, that was simple. So this is like a known combo that I have never played before. So, you know, people may be able to say whether... A, whether I did this correctly or not. B, what, like, you know, the expected benchmarks are and stuff. I think it's just like straight up a 2-card combo. It's funny that like I managed to hit 4 like every time and like didn't need the stockpile. Like I arguably would have been better off not having the stockpile. Anyway, but yeah, like I don't know how I did relative to the benchmarks because I've never really looked into that for this particular combo, but. Yeah, it's really funny that we just hit 4 every single time. It was like, or at least 4. Like, starting on turn 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. Like, it just like bang, 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 bang. I'm not surprised that the AI isn't, like, doesn't know how to play the combo board. Like, that's pretty specific. I think the most interesting question is whether there's anything you could do to improve on the combo. I suspect not. I suspect, like, for instance, opening Necromancer, like, is just going to be slower. Like, it's like, oh, that's a flagship that you don't have. Presumably with other sets of cards, you would end up with, like, the opportunity to do something that can accelerate this. But I think with this board, not. I also don't know, like I said, maybe it was better to not take the stockpile at all. If we'd had a 4-3, would it have been better to go exploration flagship? You burn the coffer immediately, so it doesn't really help you with that, but it does help you with terminal collision later if you end up with multiple flagships. Maybe. But it is, like, the stockpile does substantially decrease the likelihood that you have a turn where you just do nothing. Although I guess if you have exploration and you just do nothing, that's like a little bit better, but it's still pretty bad. Anytime you fail to, like, buy a flagship, that's a potentially a big hit. Although I did end up with one more than I needed. So, which essentially what happened was here when we did play the stockpile. And we got the flagship and the bridge. We already had enough flagships in the deck at this point, so we didn't need this flagship. We did, however, need to play, like, at this point, we only had maybe 4 flagships in play, and then this was the 5th one, this was the 6th one, and then the bridge, and this was the 7th. No, I must be off. This is, maybe that was only the 3rd one. And then it's like, this is the 4th one. This is the 5th one. This is the... No, I'm off again. Dang it. Hold on. If that one's the 4th one on turn 8. Turn 9, we play 5. Turn 10, we play 6. Turn 11, we play 7. Yeah. So, like, the bridge missed the shuffle. So, in that sense, we like, got unlucky because we didn't see the bridge. If we could have seen the bridge on turn 10, I guess we could have seen it on turn 9. That would have been potentially too early, but probably not in a way that matters. Like, if you can only buy, well, if you have 5 flagships in play, so you play 6 bridges, each bridge is worth or each province costs 2 coins, and you only have 6 coins from the bridges. You can only buy 3 provinces. That is pretty bad, and you can't use delay to get around that. Like, you've got to get the other flagship into play. So, yeah, actually, I was going to say maybe it would have been better to buy 2 bridges to try to see a bridge sooner, but actually, given the fact that you really need to get that 6th flagship into play for this to work, I mean, you might be able to buy 4 or even 5 provinces, depending on how many coppers you see, right? You have 6 coins from bridges, and then you could have up to 4 coins otherwise. So potentially you could buy 5 provinces. If you're buying 5 provinces, that's not so bad. It's still not really ideal, but you probably can build back up quickly enough to end the game before, you know, the opponent can take enough other stuff, unless their deck is, like, really close to where your deck is, which the AI's wasn't. But I mean, but in a mirror probably would be, so you probably wouldn't, that would probably be too risky. I guess in a mirror you're probably only going to have 5 flagships anyway, so that. But then what you want to have is like a second bridge, and you want to delay the first bridge and then, like, play bridge on the same turn, which is going to be tricky to ensure. But in any case, you know, I think actually, even though I had 1 more flagship than I needed, I think it actually was probably correct for me to get the flagship over the bridge, because it was specifically important that I get the 6th flagship into play before I play the bridge. if I'd already had one more of those flagships played, then getting multiple bridges so that I'd be likely to see the bridge sooner would obviously have made more sense. Anyway, so I think in theory, so like I said, bridge missed the shuffle. We could have seen it on turn 10. We could have even seen it on turn 9. We also, in theory, could have seen this flagship on turn 9. So we could have potentially gone off on either turn 9 or turn 10. I guess if it had been turn 9 and we had seen flagship bridge. Well, we didn't need the last flagship, but that was there. If we had seen flagship bridge, we wouldn't have been able to delay. We wouldn't have been able to play both flagships and delay the bridge, or like delay 2 of them. So that actually would have been bad. I think so. Maybe the fastest we could have done is turn 10, where we play flagship turn 9. We delay the flagship here to turn 10, or we get the exploration here and then we see flagship bridge turn 10 and we just play them both. I think there's probably was no way at that point to finish on turn 9. Maybe there's some other way that could be accomplished. I think, well, this flagship missed the shuffle, right? So if we had seen, but if we'd bought delay, well, we did have the stockpile. Yeah, okay. So the way that we could have finished on turn 9 is if we had seen this flagship here. And on turn 8, we play flagship, we play stockpile, we buy delay, we delay the flagship, we buy bridge, and then we top deck bridge and see it turn 9. So it would have been finishable in turn 9, but that would be pretty unlikely. I think probably the most likely scenario, like the average case, is maybe turn 10. I guess the reason I'm hesitating on that, like I think turn 10 was more likely than turn 11, and just in terms of like the fact that the bridge bottom decked. But the reason I think it might be, it might still not be turn 10 is because of the sequencing thing I talked about earlier, where, if the flagships clump a little bit more and you can't get them into play, then you might end up having to go through an entire additional shuffle before you can actually play the bridge. So then you might be looking at like turn 12, potentially. Like if you don't get to play the bridge in this shuffle, like you see it, but you can't play it. And then you need to get into this shuffle to play the bridge, but it might not be like this was the bridge at the end of the shuffle. So it was we were guaranteed to see it by this turn. But if you had already seen it in that previous shuffle, you wouldn't be guaranteed to see it this turn. And you might even go into like turn 12 or 13. So maybe the average is like 10, maybe it's 11, maybe it's somewhere in between, I would guess. But yeah, like I said, maybe somebody can let me know if you happen to know like what the expected things are, if this has been simmed out. I imagine it has been simmed out. Of course, the sim isn't going to have a stockpile in the deck, which is going to make a difference. And of course, if I'd played the stockpile earlier when I had the chance, like maybe, that would have actually benefited me by shortening my shuffle, and I would have found my bridge earlier. Like maybe it was a mistake not to play the stockpile. Maybe it was a mistake to pick up the stockpile in the first place. I really don't know. And then like if we open exploration flagship, it doesn't help us hit 4, but it does give us the villager up front with which we can play multiple flagships. We couldn't do that, to be clear. Like we didn't have the 4-3, but like I'm just saying, maybe like the ideal opening is 4-3 exploration flagship. Anyway, yeah, combo deck. AI doesn't know about it. Poor AI. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.